Do you remember the 90s? Remember Ninja Turtles? We had the best shows. Remember 007 GoldenEye? That was like the best game ever. You remember Pokemon? That was such a great show. We had all the best shows back then. Remember Pikachu? Let's watch some Pokemon.
Please help my son, Mr. Mime. I'll make you a big dessert if you do.
Mime!
Thanks, Mr. Mime.
Mr. Mime!
I'm supposed to be the Pokemon trainer.
What the hell is this? There are so many things that we grew up with loving. As a result, we view those things with nostalgia goggles that influence our perception of the past.
Where do you guys want to go?
There are plenty of games, movies, and TV shows, however, that I watched as a kid that I appreciate even more now as I've gotten older. I'll admit, sometimes it's hard to tell whether I'm viewing these things through my nostalgia goggles, especially when all the friends around me who grew up with them feel the same way. But I'd like to think that we can have some level of objectivity as we enjoy a creative work. If not, it casts a doubt on perhaps all of our childhood memories. We tend to remember the best or worst parts of the things we grew up with. Editing this project is the same for me. I remember all the fun and wonderful things we did as kids, and forget the mundane and unfun parts. Going through the raw, unedited footage of my childhood shows a slightly different picture than I remember. I see some of the dumb parts, the cringeworthy parts, the arguments, the fighting, and the humiliating. It would be inauthentic to view only the best or the worst parts. As an editor, I can filter the footage to paint almost any picture I want. I can make a montage of the best parts and say that this was my childhood. As time goes on, memories fade, and eventually my only vivid memories are the videos I edited together and the footage I used. It paints a romanticized picture of childhood. But our childhood is all of it. The good and the bad, the interesting and the boring. All of it has made us who we are. The bummer is, as time goes on, more and more of it disappears from memory. I was fortunate enough to have much of my childhood recorded. But even then, the scope is limited to the view of the camera and when we chose to push record. Watching old videos sometimes takes me back to an old summer as a kid. The feelings and the thoughts that seem to be lost for over a decade somehow floats back to the surface of my mind. Even just listening to a song can take me back there. Back to freerunning with my friends.
Hold your breath. It's not the weekend yet. Hold your breath. It's not the weekend yet.
I miss my freerunning days. I miss the growth, the excitement, the danger, trying something new, and what new ventures I can take freerunning. Always moving forward to the next freerunning project. Until I started working on this video project, I actually went a few years without watching my freerunning videos. It's really hard to watch them sometimes now and not feel a deep sadness. Missing the glory days, wishing I had done something with this talent, knowing that I will never be as good as I was back then, and knowing that soon, I will never even be able to do a flip off a roof ever again. As I was making this video, I popped in my old DVDs as I was editing this. The songs we used, the clips we shot, just brings me back to 2006. My goodness, that was over a decade ago. Just a few months ago was the 10-year anniversary of releasing our last video, Kinetic. I was so proud of our videos when we released them. Watching them now, however, I find myself cringing while I watch them. Especially our first video. My goodness, the tricks we put in those videos were so bad. We were awful back then. I even showed it to one of my classes back in high school. Even the newer ones have many moments that are just, why did we put that in there? But despite all the parts that are embarrassing or cringeworthy, they still bring a warm feeling back to me as I relive old memories and view them through my nostalgia goggles. In the past, I have struggled to find a healthy balance between holding on and letting go of the past. We can't live in the shadow of the past where we just long for the good old days, nor should we simply let it die in our memories. This project for me is walking away from my freerunning past, but letting it still live. This is what I did with freerunning. It was one of the best parts of my life. Those days are gone now. I really miss freerunning, but I will always have this video. It hurts to let it go, but the pain is temporary, and this film lasts forever.
No! I don't expect anything from you, but I'll accept that you have your own view. Hold your breath, it's not the weekend yet. Until then, I'll say what I wanna say for